Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Dragon Ball Super Chapter 71 is officially in the books, and I am here to give you guys my review and thoughts on it as always, as I do every week. And before I get into it, as always, I just have to remind you that if you like these videos and if you especially like my reviews of the latest chapters of the Dragon Ball Super manga, then guys, please consider clicking on the like button, share the video, and subscribe, especially if you're new. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. It really will help support the channel. So, with all this out of the way, what did I think about this chapter? Well, it's a little bit difficult because honestly, there are some things that I did like about this chapter, but at the same time, there are some things that I kind of I'm a little iffy about. I kind of want to wait to see where this goes, if I'm being honest. So, what exactly did happen in this chapter? Well, this chapter was mostly just set up. It was mostly just to set up something that seems like it's finally going to happen in the upcoming chapter, which we'll definitely see considering how this chapter ended. But other than that, some of the things that happened in this chapter, or especially some of the things that have been said, I am kind of curious about, and we're going to talk about them. So, like I said, this chapter is mainly just set up for everything that's going to happen, for what's going to happen in the next chapter. And what I found interesting about this chapter is that it centered mostly around the Heeters. The Heeters pretty much took center stage when it comes to this chapter. Goku and Vegeta and Granola were barely in this chapter, which I guess you could say makes sense since previous chapters did choose to either focus on Granola or Goku and Vegeta. So it is kind of nice to have a chapter that primarily centers around the Heeters, which I guess does kind of make sense since they are, since judging by this chapter, it seems like they are definitely going to be main players in this arc. But again, whether or not that's going to happen, we'll have to wait and see. So, as we found out in the earlier chapter, or excuse me, the previous chapter, the Heater's plan is to have Granola and the Saiyans face off against each other, and either the Saiyans are going to end up killing each other, either the Saiyans are going to end up killing Granola, or Granola is going to end up killing them. Either way, they get a threat to them removed, either Granola or the Heaters. And one thing that was said in this chapter that I thought was very, very interesting is that I think, if I remember correctly, his name is Oil. No, not Oil. Gas. Yeah, I think his name is Gas. It's the little guy, the one who was touted to be the strongest among the Heaters. He says in this chapter that he wished that he got a chance to fight Granola, and Alex says to him that I have no doubt you probably would have won, but I didn't want to take any chances. Also, you're the only one among us who has the ability to surpass Frieza. Now, to me, I thought that statement was very, very interesting because I wonder if, like, do the Heaters know exactly how strong Frieza is? Because Frieza's no joke, and I'm wondering if maybe they're talking about Frieza as they knew him before, because I don't know if they know exactly how strong Frieza is now, because, like, dude, Frieza has gotten way, way stronger since the time he died in the Namek arc. It's been a while, and Frieza has gotten stronger. Now, something else that we did see happen in this chapter was it seems like we got a little bit of a time skip. We got this sort of during the earlier part of the manga of this chapter. We saw a little bit of a time skip, at least based on how the pages were drawn. And it seems like Goku and Vegeta have both greatly advanced in their training. Goku seems like he's starting to get the hang of using Ultra Instinct in base, and Vegeta's starting to get a handle on using the Hakai technique. Because we do see them train. And again, I honestly can't wait to see when this part of the story gets animated, because I want to see how they take care of, how they handle this scene in particular. Are they going to do the montage just like it was done here in the manga, or are they going to sort of go more in depth? Because as we know from the history of Dragon Ball in anime form, is that especially in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, is they took scenes from the manga and they did expand on them a little bit. Hopefully they don't expand on it too much, but it would be nice if they do expand on it just a little bit. But yeah, it seems like, I don't know if Goku and Vegeta have both fully mastered their abilities, but it does seem like they have advanced in their training greatly. We do see Goku a little bit using Ultra Instinct in his base, and we do see Vegeta again. Like I said, it seems like he can use the Hakai. I don't know if he'll be able to spam it like Topo did in the Tournament of Power, but it seems like he has gotten better at using it. Like like almost really, really good at using it. Now, whether or not that's going to end up contributing to anything, whether this is going to end up, amounting to anything, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that's where Goku and Vegeta are. Now, when it comes to Granola, again, like I said, he doesn't appear much in this chapter. He does show up earlier and says that he'll just wait until Ellie gets him the information, and it seems like he's waiting in a spot where he says that he can see the elder who, God, I'm sorry, his name is kind of escaping me at the moment, but he says that from where he is, he can see him, and so he can check up on him. Like he is watching over him just to make sure nothing happens to him. So it's nice to know that he still cares about him on some level. That's nice. At least he hasn't gone fully insane with his obsession with revenge. Yeah, it seems like he does still care about the old man. And one thing that we did learn in this chapter, which again, I'm wondering if maybe we'll see this play out in the upcoming chapter, again, based on how this chapter ended, is that it was stated that his right eye was also a lot stronger now, just like, which does kind of make sense, as he himself got a lot stronger. And I'm wondering if maybe this is again going to probably factor into what's going to happen in the next chapter. So basically, and something else that happens with the Heeters. Now, this is honestly the part of the chapter where I'm a little iffy. So just like it was stated in earlier chapters, the Heeters officially go to Zuno's place, and through him they learn a lot of things. And one of the things that they learned were the Saiyan's weakness. Now, that was kind of played up as a joke, because it turns out that the Saiyan's whole weakness is that apparently they just can't say no to their wives. Which, yeah, I get that was kind of used for comedy. It's kind of used for comedy in the Dragon Ball series. I don't know. I mean, you would think that it would kind of be taken a little bit more seriously, but whatever. It's fine. I mean, I will admit, I did kind of get a chuckle out of it. But yeah, so anyway, they basically used, in a way, they concocted this plan that involved using their wives in order to get them to where they needed them to be. And where they needed them to be was Planet Cereal. So they basically end up sending them to Planet Cereal in order to fight Granola. And they do this under the guise of them hiring them in order to take care of this guy. And they say that they first of all, we see them heading over to Chi-Chi's place, and they tell her that, hey, we're looking for Goku and we want to hire him in order to do something. And Chi-Chi says, okay, we'll do it because the money that we got from Hercule is starting to run dry. First of all, I gotta just talk about this for a second. You would think that after everything, Goku and company have done for the Earth, you would think that Hercule would at the very least say, you know what, I know that Goku doesn't really work, so you don't really have a steady stream of income. So how about I just set up a system to where, I'll give you guys like this amount of money every year, just enough so you guys, can actually live off of. And instead, there's this running joke. It seems like the money's running dry, and she wants Goku to come back and get a job. Which, I mean, you would think she would have learned by now that's just never going to happen. But all right, whatever. Anyway, so there was that little gag again. So they used that, and she says that I will pay you, and of course that gets her to agree with it. And apparently she contacts Goku and Vegeta through Bulma. Bulma, of course, contacts them through Whis. She says that, hey, we've got some guests over here. Could you show up? And they basically give him the whole spiel of, oh, we've got this guy that's giving us trouble. Could you take care of him for us, and we will pay you handsomely. Now, this is the part of the chapter where, honestly, I'm a little bit iffy on. You would think that considering everything that they went through, maybe Goku and Vegeta would be a little bit smarter by now. I mean, did it never once occur to them that it was a little bit weird that these guys just showed up out of nowhere? And I mean, yeah, again, something could happen in the later chapters, but I do think it's a little bit odd that neither Goku or especially Vegeta, which, let's face it, he's probably the more cautious out of the two. No, he's definitely the more cautious out of the two. You would think that at least he would look at the situation and at the very least, maybe give us like a panel or something where Vegeta has a suspicious look on his face, like he doesn't fully trust these guys. But we don't get that. It's just they fully trust them, and now they're on their way to Planet Cereal, and they're about to fight Granola. Again, that's just how it was set up, because the very last page, Granola is standing on top of a mountain. Here, it conveniently just shows up right now. You can see he's looking over the city. Presumably that's his home, and he says, after 50 years, I'll finally get my revenge. And it seems like that's where the chapter leaves off, and that seems like where we are headed. It seems like in the next chapter we are finally going to get the battle between Goku and Vegeta and Granola. Now, again, I have heard some of the criticism that this arc seems like it's progressing too quickly. And you know what? On some level, I do agree with them, because what are we, like 6 chapters into the arc, and we're already getting the, I guess you could call it, the preliminary fight between the titular character of this arc and our two main protagonists. It just, I do understand the criticism, I do understand where people are coming from when they say that this arc does feel like it's progressing a little quickly. I do get it. I do. It's just, yeah, again, like I said, I'm holding off judgment because I want to see where it's done, and specifically, I want to see how this fight ends. Because if it ends with Goku and Vegeta beating him, I really will be disappointed. I really will call it out for being garbage, because, you have this moment where Granola makes the wish and he's officially the strongest, and the very first fight, or I guess you could say the first serious fight he takes part in, because he did have that little scuffle with some of the Heeters. But yeah, that wasn't really a good test of his strength. I guess we really will find out how strong he is after Goku and Vegeta show up, because Goku and Vegeta have gotten a lot stronger thanks to their training with Beerus and Whis. So we'll have to wait and see. So those are just sort of my quick thoughts on this chapter of the Dragon Ball Super manga. As far as other things, like for example the artwork, what did I think of it? Again, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I have to give praise to Toyotaro. His artwork has incredibly improved, especially especially when it comes to the layouts of the manga panels. I do think he has gotten incredibly better when it comes to paneling his pages. They seem way less busy, and each panel seems like it does what it needs to. There are no, again, that was my biggest criticism of Toyotaro in the earliest parts of the Dragon Ball Super manga, which is that it seems like there were so many unnecessary panels, and it seems like he's finally kicked that habit. Now he only includes the panels that are necessary. Each of them does their job. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's gotten so much better. And while I will not say it's on the level of Toriyama in his prime, but I do think he is probably starting to get there. At the very least, he's on his way. So I will give him credit for that. Okay, I'm going to end this video right here, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Remember to leave a like, share the video, and of course, please consider subscribing if you want to help support the channel, especially if you're new. Thank you so much again. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.